All right, hi everybody. This is day 2 of Project Ideas Overview. For those who couldn't make it yesterday, my name is Alyssa Tong. I'm one of the org admins. On this call with me are Chris Stern and Bruno Varakton. Chris and Bruno are also org admins and mentors. So we're also expecting another mentor, Vutu Curry, will go by V, should be here to go over his project idea as well. And then move on to slide 2. A couple of housekeeping items. This session is being recorded. Recording link will be made public later today. After each project presentation, we will pause for a few minutes to take questions. Alternatively, you can put your questions in the Q&A window throughout the presentation. Our mentors who are not presenting will help answer them. We'll also have another Q&A session at the very end if there's time left. And lastly, you can find us in the discussion channels on Gitter and Discourse outside of this event. So quick reminder that the code of conduct is still fully enforced here as well as throughout our community. If you're not sure what it is, it means be respectful and nice to each other. Yesterday, Bruno went over this slide. If you missed it, we suggest that you watch the video shown in the link here and also watch yesterday's recorded session. The link to yesterday's recording is on the resources slide at the end of this deck. For today's session, so mentors Chris and V will cover project ideas 5 through 8, as shown here with the green arrows. So with that said, Chris, I will hand it over to you to walk us through the domain-specific LLM.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Chris. This project is called a domain-specific LM-based. On the actual Jenkins usage, using ci.jenkins data, we actually have an API for that, which is available. We have opened a PR for it, but it needs to be merged to show. But we'll disclose more detail about that API later. So if you're interested, you can look into documentation and maybe interact with it a little bit. But we wouldn't recommend scraping it at this stage because we got notice from the info team that they would like to coordinate with us if we ever want to do any scraping on the more mass scale. So that may need to wait until later, but you can do some preliminary data pulling from it. And for this project, it's kind of like it's end to end, so it's full stack. It's expected you to do both fine tuning, also LM fine tuning. That's actually the second part. So first part is about machine learning. So that part will be taking the data, first clean it, and then analyze it, and then just do some machine learning just using feature selection to find out what are to get a sense of what aspect of data are important, what are not so important in helping the info team to come up with ideas about how to troubleshoot issues when they arise. So skills to study and improve would be, I think it would be, I would add to this list. So in this list with Python, JavaScript, or TypeScript, React, LM, AIML, Jenkins, Llama, LangChain, UI, info statistics, data analytics, and also we'll add to it maybe DevOps as well. So this is not an easy project, and Lisa, could you click into the project idea page? So for this project, it's supposed to be, let's go to the difficulty. So the project difficulty is intermediate to advanced, so it's not easy, and the project size is anywhere between 175 hours to 350 hours. So it's quite a bit of a time commitment. And the expected outcomes, I would say, is to have some at least some functional POC, proof of concept, to let us know like this feature would really help info team to troubleshoot issues. I think that's what I want to discuss about this project. So
So
also,
we'll open it up for questions then, Chris, or did you have something else to add?
yeah, maybe I want to add something. So I think to add to that, like we may need to use some basic like natural language processing for processing data at first as well. So and also like we encourage you to do some automation where possible for this project. And but you we want you to come up with a proposal to let us know like you know what's going on, like so you it's not supposed to be on top of the LM project from 2024. We gave a reference of it because like it's in the same category, but they're not really the same. So yeah, maybe we should open up to Q&A.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris. So for the time being, no question, but yeah, it's open. There's a button written Q&A. Don't hesitate to click on it and ask your question.
When V is here, Lisa.
Is he here?
Yep.
Under the attendees, Chris?
Yep.
See
It's
new
not.
V, maybe?
Yeah.
Is it under? Why am I not seeing it? There we go. Okay, cool.
Okay, so
Hi.
Sorab is asking, means we have to make our model.
No, it doesn't. So we have to fine tune the model. LM is like, if we have to train our model, it would be cost us too much money. So that's kind of impossible. So we need to fine tune the model instead of training a model.
Thank you. Manash is asking, what might be the criteria to showcase and prove my skill for this project? How shall we proceed?
I think to show as you know the use Git is important. So you may want to also like you want to try out opening some pull requests within the Jenkins ecosystem to prove to us, you know, how the development lifecycle works with open source, and also like how Git works, and for like how do you prove like what you know about this project. Like I think at least half of it is based on the proposal you write. So we want to have from the project proposal, I want to have an idea about what you know and what you're proposing, so we can assess how well you will be able to do in case you're selected, and also like whether we'll have a successful project.
Thank you, Chris. And by the way, folks, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your names. I do what I can. Sakshi is asking, I saw that this project is more research focused and data driven than the previous LLM project. What should I focus on more in this project?
Oh, that's a good question, Sakshi. So I think it's like definitely more focus should be on research. So we want to see some ideas from you. That's why like we don't want to discuss too much about in the public, because like, in that case we cannot filter out or screen out the candidates who are not qualified. So we expect you to do a lot of research beforehand. So also like playing around with the API provided, and so I think yeah, definitely more research focused.
Thank you. Ajay is asking, do we have to use only Llama-based models or other open source models like Mistral? French, yes, can be fine-tuned.
I think it depends on what's suitable at the time, because like it can be Mistral too, or it can be Llama, but I think it's like Llama is just for like a tool to use for local development, local fine tuning on the Mac or maybe similar machines. So that's why like we mentioned Llama in the project idea page. But definitely, yeah, you can. It's open. It's an open question for now, because it also depends on how you argue for the pros and cons of the particular element or model you propose to use. So it really depends on how well you argue and how best the model is suited for the task.
Thanks. Avichal is asking, in the proposal submission time, do we have to submit the prototype of the project so as to we are having that particular skills that will be beneficial if we get selected to that project? Mhm.
Oh, that's a good question, because like that's basically a misconception about like GSOC, because like we don't want you to have a prototype first. The project itself in this instance is already a prototype for like maybe some some feature to be adopted by the team, but that's to be investigated if that's possible. So we don't want you to like, you can do some investigative work on it. You can try out like some some aspect of the project, but the project is supposed to be huge, and it's not supposed to be easily completed within 1 or 2 weeks, or maybe even 3. So I would suggest like focus on like what you know, what you can find out from research, and submit a proposal that at least sounds and at least would be actionable and workable.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. And if I may add a few things, what we are looking for in this period until we review your proposal is that you build your Jenkins muscles. It's a phrase from Jean-Marc Messen, who was JSOC admin for Jenkins the previous years. The goal there is you to know more about the community, how we work with Git, how we work together, what are the communication channels, Gitter, Discourse, or Slack sometimes. So that's what we are looking for. We want you to refine your project, but we don't want you to propose a prototype. You have to know more of the community. You have to know more about the project. You have to know more about where you are now, about the skills that are needed for the project. But no prototype at all for the time being. Do we still have time for a question? We have a question from Mayank. Yeah.
Bruno, there, Rajiv Singh raised his hand. Did you have
Oh,
something
I
to
can
say,
see the hand.
Rajiv?
Oh yeah. Hi all. I have one question, like Chris. So we will select a model. So are we going to change that model in future, like writing a modular code so that we can change the model in future, not stick to one model? So this is also in the consideration.
It depends. Like things change so fast these days in regards to LM. I think at least we should have a model that will work for the time being, and
Okay,
that
MVP. Okay.
wouldn't be there wouldn't be draining too
Mm.
much resource while it's like big enough to do the task it's assigned, like it's required to. So it has to be
Got.
balanced between
Mm.
like yeah.
Got it, Chris. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I would say last set of questions. If you don't mind, if you still have questions, we may have time in the end of this meeting to answer them. So Mayank was asking 2 questions. First, is the priority for the LLM to answer user questions or proactively suggest fixes based on infra stats? First question.
I like that question a lot, but I think it's like it's supposed to like not to not to automate the process, so it wouldn't be, in your words, proactively suggest fixes, but I think it would be to more for and it's as an assistant. So when the info team wants to ask you a question, it would be able to help like pinpoint like where to look, for example.
Okay, second question is, are there Jenkins specific edge cases, for example, plugin conflicts, this model must handle?
I think it's like this. It's not this. This is not really what the project is about. Like because like for Jenkins infra, like I think most of the time they deal with DevOps issues. So maybe for example, like maybe there's an outage somewhere that's not directly related to that this is non-edge case, by the way. So that's affecting the deployment of some say, let's say the LTS release, that it should be able to like answer the question right away, for example, or maybe provide suggestions, multiple suggestions to where the user, in this case info team, can 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 use to narrow down the root cause.
Thank you, Chris. We have a last question, which is more general from Yash. So he says, I also thought that we should have a prototype ready. Does this apply to other projects also? So what can we do to make a good proposal? Maybe a guide through would be good. Alisa, don't we have a guide somewhere on how to write a good proposal?
Hmm. Off the top of my head, I don't remember that, but I think the video that we referenced to
Yeah.
earlier in here might help.
I think it's like we
Yeah.
have to have like for the proposal, so
We
that's a guideline to follow.
Yeah, the template is it's self-explanatory, so it's quite straightforward actually.
Yeah, but one thing to add to is to remember to like showcase what you know in the proposal. It doesn't have to be too long, but it should be long enough to give enough like details for the plan to be actionable, and to show us it will have the potential to be successful.
Yeah. Don't brag too much, be honest, but let us know why we should choose you. Thanks, Yash. I think we're good with this one, so we'll be able to go to the next project presented by, drumroll, Chris. No?
Yeah,
Chris.
sorry. So
What a surprise.
yeah, I'll be short about on this one because like it's like a lot of it has to do with the backend code. So and the backend code is like I think there are two major repos for this. We may not have provided this detail on the idea page, but I will fix it later, maybe over the next few days in case that's the case. So for the backend code, we're factoring for info statistics. This is mostly for the infra.jenkins.io website, because like last year we were able to come up with a website to display infra statistics data, but in the process of like working through the project, we found out like a lot of deficiencies, a lot of like outdated code, or maybe not good not so modern practice when it comes to the way the backend handles the data processing part. So we may want to refactor or rewrite and redesign some parts of the code base or code bases. So the technology involved would be Groovy. So backend front-end integration. So that part, like you may want to take a look at both the front-end code and the current backend code to see if there's a better way to make them work together, so as to modernize the backend as well. code refactoring is discussed, and also infra DevOps processes. And maybe we should go over to the project idea page. So this project is supposed to be beginner to intermediate because it's mostly rewriting what we already have. And project size is about 175 hours, but no less. And I think it's like project difficulty. It could be like it could be quite tricky at some point in time too. That's why it can be intermediate. But it's mostly because like you need to know a thing or two about how DevOps works. I think also like for the infra team we just migrated some of infra tooling to AWS or most of it. But so knowledge of AWS would definitely help as well. But in case you would like to know more about how infra team works, you may want to submit a few PR and to interact with CI/CD checks on GitHub. In that way, you could get more like and go through like in case you have some like tasks, do check out what kind of tasks, what kind of checks, CI/CD checks they have. Also, like if you want to end the issues like on GitHub, you can actually see the logs by using some hyperlinks. If you checks items, checks list on the PR. So that's one way to interact with it and to get more knowledge about like info projects in general, like this one and the previous one. So we're good to move on to the next Q&A.
Take questions. Yeah. So we have
Anyway.
Avikal raised his hand. So
Oh, Shiva is here. Can we promote him?
yeah.
Vishal, we can't make you a panelist. So if you
Let
have a
me
question,
here.
please.
There,
Oh, he's here.
I
Okay.
said talking permitted.
Thank you, Elisa.
Oh, hang
Am I?
on. No. Okay.
Go ahead, Vishal.
Yeah, one thing that you have said that we do not have to make the prototype. So we have to continue the PR merging or contribution to the GitHub of the Jenkins or and also take part in the community's chat and make do involve in the community, or we have to do anything other else apart from contributing or involving in the communities of the Jenkins.
Yeah, it would be good for you to show up like from time to time, so or to interact with the community, so we get to know you more, and that would like most of the time help with your application. But I think it's like the most important thing to do well on is the proposal, because that's the source of truth for the selection committee to confirm your candidacy. Like also like for us to see what your understanding of the project is, and what we'll give you some feedback too if you as there's a review going on right now until April 1st. But we only allow one submission for preview per candidate this year, so I would suggest to do it later on because like it's too early. And also like I think it's like I would suggest like if you can if you don't have time to, you don't have to worry too much about like joining the meetings. But if you can, do come to our meetings, like for example, docs meetings, the info meeting, maybe. Also like we have platform SIG to, and also like we have like I think UX meetings too on Wednesdays. So yeah, it would be good for you to participate more.
Yeah, one more thing I would was that in the project idea there is a duration time of project that is given. So could you clarify what is that time? Means did we have to, after the selection, we have to give that time on the projects as mentioned in the project list, or it is something else?
Bruno, you want to take that question?
I'm not so sure I understood it correctly, but yes, if it's written 175 hours, you're supposed to give that amount of hours of work. And what are we requesting? I think from 20 to something else hours per week or thing like that. Yeah, because we have to progress each and every week. So even if we work asynchronously, you are supposed to give us some feedback regularly. We have one meeting or two per week, depending on the project and the mentee, so that we know that you are progressing. And if ever you have some questions, we will answer asynchronously. But we have to know. We won't have a sheet to track how many hours you do. It's some kind of contract, but you can keep it to yourself as long as the project is progressing. That's okay. But if it's 175 and when you are doing the project, we realize that you need more than that, then the project can be extended somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. If we say it early enough to Google, I think that's possible. I even don't know if I answer your question. If that's the case.
Yeah, yeah, it
Oh, thank you.
clarifies. Thank you.
Okay, I think we can move on to Swagger.
Yeah, let's go over it. So for Swagger, Open API standardization for Jenkins REST API is just the idea is quite simple. It's to standardize the specifications for all the Jenkins REST API we have currently in the code base. But so what is important for this project to be successful is to get to know Swagger and Open API standardization, and also know how to do or experiment with automation. So we can automate the process, such as what we have done for the plugin modernization project, which uses open I think it's called Open Rewrite, right? Or Modern. So those technologies may help us to get ideas in order to work well with this. So we need to know Java as well, I think. And so REST API, you need to know what is like the CRUD operations and like how is it done? Like HTTP requests, and also like some documentation knowledge would be good too, because like this is basically like documentation for the code itself. And it's like so those are the skills that you need to have to be good at the project and to like be successful in it. Okay, so details background. So we've talked about like the body of the message and its formats like JSON, HTML, etc. So project details. I think let's go to the project duration maybe and difficulty. So here are some useful information about how the project works. So I wouldn't go over it again, but you can, if you don't have any questions, you can ask in GitHub publicly. Also for quick start, like you can they have a recording from a few years ago on this. So but it could be like it was given by someone else though who is no longer with GSOC this year for Jenkins. But also like study Open API specification, give examples for other services. So this means that you have to I will update this project page to give more like more details about what these services are, and explore stating DAX stage the REST API endpoints in Jenkins state. So this is the part where we need to do our work on. So the annotations is discussed may or may not be the up-to-date ones, but I'll need to check it later. So I'll we may revise this a little bit later on over the next few days. So maybe family issues. So I'll leave it for you to read, and the skills we talked about, and the project difficulty level is definitely intermediate. So, or maybe even advanced. So project sizes are 175 to 350 hours. And expected outcome would be to complete the project 100% for this one, which means that you should be able to come up with a plan and some to automate the standardization of the Jenkins REST API using the open API specifications. And I think that's about it. That is quite simple for this project. So Q&A.
Okay, so we have a first question from Pratik. So this project was in previous GSOC IDs, but did not get selected. Was it due to not a good proposal from contributor or something else? Other sentence indicate the students find that it's not possible to generate the REST API from a specification in project description really scares me. Okay.
Oh.
I can't remember why we did not shoot this one. Maybe just because we already had 5 very powerful proposals, right?
I think I discussed this with Mark before in private, and we come to the conclusion that it's because this project is not easy, first, and second, it's because we did not receive any good proposals for this before. Those are main issues why we didn't get selected previously.
Yeah, it's for a project to be chosen, it has to be of a high value for the Jenkins project and or community, and to have the right proposal. And if we don't have the combination of the two, then of course we won't select it. Giant ask, would understanding Stapler on a deeper level, like recursive reflection, help for this project?
Bruno, do you want to take that one too? I would say,
No.
yeah, I'll go after.
Sorry, Chris didn't get it. So
Do you want to take the question?
no. That's for you.
Okay, sure, yeah. I would think like you should have a working knowledge of stapler. I don't really remember deeper level though, because like for like what you call recursive reflection, it may or may not help. It depends on what task you're working on. So I'll leave it for you to find out, but it would be good to have some understanding of stapler. Also, like I would like to stress, like the instructions that you see on the project idea page for 2025 right now was before LLM became popular. So like with like some AI tools readily available, so maybe the automation task could be a lot easier. But that's like we also checked with someone checked with Google on GSOC policy, like they say it's not against the rule for the contributor to use AI or LLM for
Yeah.
the policy. So it should be okay. It should help too. Yeah.
A question from Kartik. Should a side project made up with REST APIs and documented by OpenAPI included in proposal, along with some contributions in Jelly documentation?
I'm not sure what you mean by dry documentation, but I think it's like it if you can explain to us like or show your understanding of what you need to do for the project, including understanding of concepts of REST APIs and the open API specifications, that should be enough. You could provide a side project to us, but we the mentors team may or may not go over it. So you could do that too if you want to give us a chance to assess you with other like materials, but that's not required, and that may or may not be helpful. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Harsh is asking, are the API endpoints covered by tests?
Yes, of course. For open source, so especially for Jenkins, because we take testing very seriously, we have smoke tests to check all the endpoints. But The only issue I would like to bring up is that the coverage may not be good or may not be very good at this stage for some of the code bases, but we do have tasks for sure.
Okay, and then may we use the test output to determine the output type of the API?
Test output. I wouldn't know what you're suggesting here. I don't think it works necessarily. That's what my sense of the answer should be. Because like for the answer, like the answer, like the output normally is just successful failures and how many and where. And maybe some stack trace too. So that may not help. And we're supposed to standardize like how we write the REST API. So in a way that's similar to how Go language, Go projects work, because like Go is a very lightweight language, so it has a very specific way to structure this API, or for the user for the developer to structure the API. So that's quite similar in this case. If we're going to use standardization of with the Open API specs.
Thanks, Chris. And maybe the last one from Sakshi. Where should the generated API docs be hosted? Inside Jenkins UI or as an external service?
I don't think that's a valid question necessarily, because we are going to refactor the API code itself, not the docs necessarily. But yeah, I think it's like maybe the docs too. So because like it depends on how you define the term docs. Because like for the API specification, like we should have some documents generated not for public use, but for the developer to use. So for that part, like it's like I think it's I don't understand what you mean by Jenkins UI though, because like for Jenkins we have Jenkins core, and definitely that's not where it's going to be at. And for external service, like I think you can see that you should be able to generate the docs itself within the code base. That's how it's normally done, because like most of the time for especially for industry, like the API should be kept private. But in this case, like even if we don't host the documentation, like I need to check on that one. So in that sense, it's a good point to point out. But it's enough to be able to host documentation, the API docs locally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you. And last question, maybe from Jayanth. Do you recommend maybe trying to generate a small open API spec for maybe root objects, such as the one in Jenkins.class in core, to better understand the entire process?
I don't think we're gonna touch anything in the Jenkins core, but it's gonna be the Jenkins REST API, so it's a separate code base.
And another one which is more global, so anyone could answer. How detailed should the proposal be? Is there a maximum limit on the implementations and designs we can include? Alyssa, will we get some other meetings where we explain all of that or not? I just can't remember.
We are not planning for additional meetings after this. So what happens after this is going to be up to our candidates, right? So propose your best proposal. Send us your best proposal. Make it as detailed as you want. Elaborate as much. And we can talk a little bit more about this at the end of this session. We have a last year's candidate, GSOC contributor, Philip Plants, that's on this call. So Philip can also, give you his ideas and suggestions as well. But we'll wait till the end to do that.
Good idea.
Thanks for the
Thank you.
question.
I think we can leave the floor to V.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey everyone. Yeah, this is my first time, so let me give you a bit about myself. So I'm Srinivas. Currently, doing as a DevRel at StackUp, and have done my major in data science. Also, I'm one of the CDF ambassadors. So today I would like to let you through AI-powered chatbot for Jenkins resource project, where we are not just building another chatbot. We are reimagining how developers interact with Jenkins. So this summer, we are looking for passionate developers to help us create an AI assist that lives right inside the Jenkins. This isn't just a search box with some random keywords or some specific keywords. We are talking about a conversational interface that understands context and remembers your previous questions and learn from the community's collective knowledge. And so, coming to the technical details, the selected contributor will be diving into the NLP and machine learning world, building models that can understand Jenkins specific terminology. So, what we are expecting is to create a plugin that seamlessly interact into the Jenkins UI. And best of all, they will be connecting users to the vast knowledge base that already exists in the form of documentation, repository, community forums that can all accessible through natural conversations. So, if any one of you are passionate about AI, this project offers incredible learning opportunities where you'll work with the cutting edge NLP libraries, deep dive into the Jenkins architecture, and create something that thousands of developers will use every day. And so coming to this isn't just a coding project. It's a chance to fundamentally improve how people interact with one of the most widely used CI/CD tool. So coming to the point, the more information is available in the project page. The link is also in the slide. It will be shared with you shortly, I guess so. So I highly recommend to check that out. And I guess you will have a question. This sounds kind of similar to the previous project explained by the Chris, that is domain specific LLM based, but it is not actually the same. So I'm open to the questions if you have any.
Thank you, Lee. Manash is asking, are we building a new model or will we fine-tune an existing LLM?
The initial plan was to build a new model, but just now have seen the domain specific model. So what we'll try to integrate that if possible. So I guess in the last GSOC 2024 they have got the cleaner data, so we can use that in our model if possible.
Thank you. Sohab is asking, so we have to make the UI also.
Yeah, yeah, we are doing UI as well.
Chirag is asking, can we experiment with new architectures, something like an LCM or maybe a Titan model?
Currently, the what we have planned is we have planned with a Hugging Face or something kind of light frameworks. So yes, we are open to discuss the other models as well. I guess the budget constraint is also there, so we have to plan accordingly.
Okay, thank you. By the way, do we have any partnership or hardware somewhere that would help us fine-tune the model? Do we have any subscription to a service or something, or how the student should fine-tune the model?
So far, I guess most of the data is already data web script for the other project, that is domain-based LLM. So we can use that, I guess so.
Okay.
So Chris may be answer for this.
Oh, I can answer that question because like we are in the process of looking for a sponsorship for these projects, but nothing's confirmed yet, so we'll see. But if we have some sponsorship, it would be for cloud computing. So So the controller will only need like some very basic hardware then in that case.
Okay, thank you. Because I think last year Noor had access to a website that allowed her to fine tune her model for, I don't know, 50 hours per week or something like that. And I don't know if we could have that kind of service for this year's mentees.
Okay, I'll go check out because I need yeah, that's a good ballpark too. So maybe
Thank you.
I'll make it a conservative estimate of 100 hours at least per month. Yeah, okay. Also for this project, I want to bring up like you can think up your particular approach to implementing it, but the chatbot itself will be integrated to Jenkins via the new Jenkins plugin. So I think that's the basic idea at least. Also, like for the tools, like if we at least like could you click into the project page, idea page. Yeah, I can see like there's a one tool that's very where is that? So can we scroll up to maybe at the top? Yeah, right here, wait, wait. No, don't go too far. So quick start. Yes. So you can see some tools here, but I would say the last two are more important, PyTorch, also Llama Index. So PyTorch is for the for the chatbot part, for the implementation of the bot, and the Llama Index part will be for the backbone of the project. That's where the logic resides. But more details I'll leave out to the candidates to work out themselves, because I think this would be a good enough starting point. And also because like this project is gonna be a plugin, so it will be based in Java. This point has been left out here, yeah.
Thank you. I don't see any other questions. Alisa, would you like that we switch to Philip so he can give us his insight about what it is to be a GSOC mentee?
Yes, but I just saw one question that just came in.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. You're
No
right.
worries.
So, Birajit, do the 350-hour and 175-hour estimates refer only to the actual coding period, or do they also include other phases? As far as I know, it's only the coding period, right, Lisa?
Yes,
Because there is a bonding period that doesn't count.
right.
And I don't know if we have anything after the coding
Mm.
period, except congratulate ourselves. That's all.
Yeah.
Birajit, I hope that answers your question. And Sorab is asking, is there design of UX to develop UI? I'm not so sure I can understand this one. Chris, do you get what Sorab means?
Let me take a look. Oh, okay. I think you need both, but I would not say like you need one for the other. You need to consider both UI UX at the same time.
I think we're good.
Okay. So as soon as you said we're good, we got a question for this project. Do we need to show some projects in machine learning to strengthen the proposal?
It's depend on the individual. If you have any, it would definitely increase the chances of getting into it. So even if you don't have, don't brag yourself to get into it. We'll learn along the go. So if you have, it's better. If not, it is okay.
Okay, thanks,
Yeah.
V and Chris. Was there something else you wanted to add? No? Okay. So Philip, I will open it up to you. And what advice would you give candidates for, you know, to help increase their chance of getting accepted into this program?
From my opinion, communication is a very good point. May be present on our Jira. That helps us a lot to communicate. What have your ideas? What will be better, and also what good is present your proposal as early you can. That helps us as a mentors to getting your really quick feedback. What is wrong? What's happened? On the other side, you can reworking it and try to get into the GSOC program. That's my advice. What helps you to get accepted with your proposal.
Thanks, Philip. Okay, Bruno, this one is for you.
Okay. Yeah. So, what's next? We're at the very beginning of March, and we are waiting your proposals by April the 1st. So you have to share your draft proposals so that mentors can review and give you some feedback. We have a draft proposal review submission form, and you have to go through this one. If you don't go through this one, your proposal won't be reviewed. So April 1st, you have to keep that in mind. You can start right away drafting your proposal and asking us some questions on Gitter, for example, so that you know if you're going in the right direction or not. March 24th, so a few weeks from now, you will be able to propose yourself as a contributor for the Jenkins project in GSOC. And April 8th, that's the deadline. You have to be there. You have to have proposed your submission by then. And we can't change the dates. We are not making the calendar, so it's Google Work. You have to follow these dates, these timeline. If you don't, you just won't be successful in getting a slot in the Jenkins project. And I think that's all I have to say. You have to go through the form. You can start now working on your draft proposal, but we will only do, correct me if I'm mistaken, Chris, one review. We can review sometimes your draft proposal, but the final review will only happen once. So be sure to send the right one at the right time.
Yeah, so we only review one version of your proposal, but draft proposal, but there may be different mentors commenting on that. So there will be more than one reviews per per review process, I think. So that's the idea.
Yeah,
Yes, some mentors which are not part of the project, which are not considered as mentors for the project you are submitting a proposal to, will review your, or may review your proposal nonetheless, because even if they are not experts on the domain, they will rate the quality of your proposal nonetheless. And sorry, Alisa, I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. So it's recommended that you submit your best proposal. So don't try to rush the proposal and, meet before the April 1st date. When you submit your draft proposal, make sure that it's your best one, because we receive so many draft proposals for review, and there's only a limited handful of mentors or volunteers who can provide the review. So with that, we can only commit, you'll probably get, one review. So sometimes what happens in the past is, well, you'll get feedback from our mentors, and then you resubmit your the draft proposal. Okay, so I made these changes. How does this look now? So that is probably not going to happen this year, because we're just very limited in resources, and you have a deadline to meet. So when you send out your draft proposal, make sure that it's your best one.
Yeah,
And
thanks.
I also want to stress that, because we get so many draft proposals, People just tossing it on Gitter. Hey, here's my draft proposal. Please take a look. It needs to go through this form because we all have our full-time jobs, and so we're not able to monitor multiple locations. So get it on this form. If it's not on this form, it will not get reviewed.
Yeah, and please do your homework. Just don't ask ChatGPT for a quick draft and submit it, because we will see it and we won't review it because it's not worth our time. So please do your best, do it yourself. Of course, if you're not happy with what you wrote, the ideas are there and you need to reformulate. Of course, you can use ChatGPT or something else in order to get it better. But the ideas, the agenda, the way you envision things, these have to be yours and not generated by an LLM or something else. And maybe I wasn't unclear enough. There are two organizations there, the Jenkins organization and the Google organization. April 1st, that's your proposal to the Jenkins project. March 24 and April 8, it's you and Google. It's not Jenkins, and we'll connect the two later on. But April 1st, Jenkins, March 24, Google. Two different processes.
Yeah, that's important. Thanks for clarifying that, Bruno. Okay.
The video which is linked in the first link, it's the same one that was in the first slide, I would say. It's last year, I think it's last year video. It's pretty clear what are we expecting from you. What should you also be expecting from this project. So if you have 1 hour from the don't hesitate, just watch it. That's pretty helpful. The template, I had a look earlier today. It's well done. That's the docs you will have to enter your proposal into before submitting it within the form. That's pretty straightforward. It tells you what we are expecting from you. The March 5 project ideas overview recording, that's yesterday's one. So if ever you missed the introductory part, the one where I'm telling you about the mountain, dying on the mountain and so on, it's in this video. Of course, there is a Jenkins GSOC website, which is a subpart of Jenkins.io. You should find all the ideas and the previous year's GSOC projects should you want to have a look at what has been produced earlier to get inspired. We also have a blog on Jenkins.io. So if you click on this one, the tag's named GSOC, you will see all about GSOC within the blog. That can be from the admins, that also can be from the mentors, but you will also find blog posts by the GSOC mentees. So of course you will have to write blog posts if you are selected this year at the beginning of the project, maybe in the middle of the project, and at the end of your successful project. So be aware that you will have to write blog posts, but frankly, that goes pretty well most of the time. And don't you forget, we have some communication channels. So the GSOC discourse is on community.jenkins.io. If you have a question about GSOC, you may have some answers there. It's most of the time asynchronous, and maybe it takes more time than an answer you could get on Gitter. So you can also go on GSOC Gitter at gitter.im. You can also go there through Matrix, if I'm not mistaken. And there it's also asynchronous, but most of the time it is synchronous. So you may have some answers there. And whenever we're ready, we may even create some sub-channels in order to discuss about the project, or at least the project ideas we have presented you yesterday and today. Olisa, did I forget anything?
Nope, I think you're good. So
Thank you.
Philip mentioned that there's links on here that aren't working. So I will, I will check it and make sure to update the slide deck before I send it out and share it later. Thanks, Philip, for letting us know.
Yeah, maybe they just work for the admins. I don't know.
So we have questions. I know we're at time, but I think these are good questions that we should cover. How many pages do you recommend for the proposal? So like just the number of pages I'd like to know. How long in detail should it be?
I would say we don't count on number of pages. The thing is, if there is only 1 to 2 pages, maybe you haven't done your homework correctly. If there are 50 pages, whoa, you're maybe thrilled, super excited, but come on, we have to take some time to review it. So be reasonable, be inspired, but yeah, if you really want a number of pages, I don't know, 10, 20 maybe, but not more than that. Chris, what do you think?
I think it really depends on the project. Like for example, for LM
Yeah.
project, I would expect like at least to do a good job, at least 10 pages.
Cool.
I
Thank
think
you.
the important thing is make sure to show us your thoughts. Get it on, in graphing, whatever you need to do to get your point across to the mentors. I think that's important.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for the wow factor. I remember last year some of the proposals were, oh, I never thought we could do it that way, or that's a killer feature, and so on. So don't be shy. Share them with us. Last thing, are both draft proposals to Jenkins and Google proposals comes into play during evaluation? I'm not so sure we have anything in regards to Google proposal, Lisa.
Who comes into play during evaluation?
Because I don't know what it looks like for a mentee to submit a proposal to Google. It's not a proposal, by the way. It's just I'd like to be part of Google Summer of Code. And we don't have a look at what's inside, right, Chris?
So definitely draft proposal is for like Bruno mentioned, it's for the draft proposal is for the Jenkins project. It's for Jenkins. Google proposal.
It's actually part of the application. It's the same proposal. It's one proposal.
It's the same. So once we review it, you clean it up, you make it look, you put it in a neat package and you wrap it up and you send it off to Google.
Yeah. So each one proposal per project. If I want to apply in more than one project, I can do it, right?
I've seen it done in the past, yeah.
At most 3, according to official rules. So you can submit up to 3 proposals for 3 different project ideas. With the same org or with different orgs.
Keep in mind quality over quantity, okay?
Yeah.
I will let. So the follow-up questions, like maybe after we answer 1 for the blogs. Okay. So I'll let Elisa answer the last question.
So same goes for draft proposals too.
If they have more project idea.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past. Yeah.
So
We've
only
seen people.
Yeah, it's only 3, up to 3.
Yeah. But again, focus on quality over quantity. Okay, so I think that's it. And we are over time. So again, you can find all of us on Gitter and the discourse channels. Feel free to reach out to us. I'll update the slide deck and we'll send out the recording as well on the Gitter channel and discourse. So thanks all and take care.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.